After reading Xi Jinping, The Governance of China, I realized my life would change forever. That's because I'd realized that a global vision that incorporates all of humanity had been introduced to international relations. There was no way I wouldn't be part of it. As an international scholar, I didn't want to learn about China through eyes and ears that are not my own. I wanted my opinion to be based on my personal reality rather than something I read or heard. That's why I came to China and dedicated my academic career to studying Chinese foreign policy. I first began reading Xi Jinping, The Governance of China, as well as the books that are part of the BRI dedicated book for my doctoral qualification exam. My research topic is the Global Civilization Initiative, which means I had to get quite familiar with China's governance, China's diplomatic initiatives, and also the lexicon used by Chinese leaders. Unlike a lot of students who study Chinese prior to coming to China for academic specialization, I actually came here nearly 3 years ago without speaking a word of Chinese. My husband is the one who taught me Chinese using elementary school books. But of course, those are not very useful in my major, which has a lot of professional jargon. On top of that, a lot of Chinese diplomatic concepts are quite hard to translate into English. I'll give you an example. The term 民心相通 is typically translated as people-to-people connectivity. But if you consider actually the individual Chinese characters, you could also translate it as people's hearts connecting or being interlinked. This is a special attribute of China's diplomacy under the GCI and the community with a shared future. When it comes to getting familiar with Chinese diplomatic vocabulary, as someone who is still learning Chinese, I first read the books in English. Then I do a comparative analysis of the same text, but in Chinese, and extract the keywords and concepts, and then build my own dictionary of terms important for my research. It takes a lot of time, to be honest, but I don't think I'll be able to understand China's policy if I don't know the meaning of these Chinese concepts. Personally, as someone with a diverse cultural background who has lived around the globe, the idea of building a community with a shared future for humanity is one that I am partial to. There is a quote in one of the tomes that goes, "With a strong sense of our responsibility for the future of all humanity, we need to champion common human values, foster broad-minded understanding of the values of other civilizations, and respect the choice of every nation for its pathway to realizing its values." The part that personally resonates with me is the emphasis on both championing common values while simultaneously respecting the diversity and uniqueness of civilizations from across the globe. That's because China, in my opinion, understands the importance of uniqueness and self-determination while encouraging humanity to unite in its shared values to face common challenges. I think personally, this is a perspective that we could all embrace. I recently attended the 2025 China International Fair for Trade and Services. There, I was able to witness different enterprises, large conglomerates, and businesses from across China. But what stood out to me the most was the variety of products and services, actually, ranging from Chinese law firms that specialize in international trade law to high-tech products, to Chinese traditional cultural products and even opera performances, to companies that specialize in human health, and even country-based stalls such as products from Japan, Ireland, and Australia. I saw such a wide variety of goods and services, and I truly felt what it means to be interconnected and part of one global community. This idea of a global community approaches topics important to humanity on a macro scale, hence the word global, but also instills a sense of interconnectedness and togetherness as we are linked as a community, which is, typically considered something that is local and familiar. There is one idea that I not only hear in daily life, but am also sure many others do too, as building a community with a shared future for humanity encompasses nearly all fields of human life. One of the points of emphasis is the protection of the earth for sustainable development, what is also called building an ecological civilization. Being acutely aware of the SDGs, I was certain that by doing steps like recycling or converting to green energy would be enough. But having lived in China, researched what sustainable development actually means, and having discussed in breadth how we may coexist in harmony with the environment, I found that China has gone to new lengths to build this ecological civilization. I have recently joined, through my university, a fellowship program called the Tsinghua Nike Sustainability Fellowship, which was created by my university and Nike and focuses on shaping young leaders to carry on the task of sustainable development. We attend lectures on low-carbon green transformation strategies, talent development and career planning in the ESG field, and even sustainability issues in the fashion industry. We also participate in events and seminars to enrich our comprehensive understanding of how to best implement the SDGs. Further, we will also go to the US for 1 month in the summer to attend lectures, visit various companies, and get an all-round education that enriches our skills for the future. This, for me, presents the right attitude and training required to build an ecological civilization that better understands the steps that need to be taken to live in harmony with nature. Rather than enlightenment, I would say that the series of books, Xi Jinping, The Governance of China, gives me hope. There is a society, a country, and a leadership that is willing to put forward a global vision that incorporates all of humanity as one facing challenges as seen in a century.